Is it recording? Yeah. Okay, good. Now, welcome to another Stenosis SlogCast. It's been a long time since I have done a podcast SlogCast thing, hasn't it? Man, there's been a lot going on. I'm going to start with a little intro music. That's not the intro music. This is actually from a video I had on YouTube. I shared this part of a song whenever I was driving my truck. It has just a badass drum beat. It's Devour from the band Disturbed. It's off their Believe album, and this song is just it's really cool. I love this drum beat here. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I just love that drum beat. Yeah, it's the business. And this SlogCast will actually be uploaded. Well, you're actually listening to it now, probably. Depends on where I want to put it, but I'll be uploading it to Anchor, the app Anchor, and I will probably start using Anchor as the central platform for all the SlogCasts, because you can do this call-in thing where you call in through the app and you can leave me a voicemail thing. They call it a call-in or something. I can't remember. And you can leave that, and I can put that in future episodes and answer questions or just remark on what you say. And I play that call-in in episodes. You could be in SlogCast. Wouldn't that just be fun? We'd be like one big happy family. That sounded weird, didn't it? That's okay. I liked it. So yeah, do that if you want to be in a future SlogCast, or you just want to talk to me. That's the main reason I'm using Anchor, is because I like the fact that it can be more of a conversation in this aspect. I can hear your voice, and other people can hear your voice, and I can respond directly to you. And that's something that I think is a really, really cool feature. It's something that's been missing in the podcast world, I guess you could say, because it's one thing to read messages that are typed out, and it's another thing to hear somebody's voice. And I'm pretty excited about that. So do that if you wish. If you don't wish, then don't wish. That's fine too. Up to you. And but speaking of the typey ready, there's a new feature on YouTube. I don't actually know if it's a new feature or not. We'll just say it's a new feature. Something I just discovered, so that makes it new. It's a group thing, and I created a group on there. It's called The Pit, and you can find a link to it in any of my videos on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, then more than likely you're not listening to this anyway, but just go to Stenosis Music Net on YouTube, or you can type in Stenosis Music in the search bar. I don't know if you can find it, and everybody knows how to search now. The link, an invite link is at the top of the description in all of my videos. So go click on that and join me there. It's a really cool thing. It's something that I've actually been looking forward to. Just like the voice feature for Anchor, it's really cool because there's so many damn social media things. I've been trying to figure out how to use Reddit. And I actually just posted for the first time on Reddit. I responded to somebody last night. And by last night, I mean really early this morning, because I can't sleep for crap. And they asked, they had a problem with their ART or ART. They had a digital MPA. It's a mic preamp 2-channel. And one channel, I guess, had really low gain, and it would get all distorted and stuff. And was asking, well, what could that be? And I posted on it because nobody else had commented, and I was like, I feel bad. And I said, that's your tube. Probably replace that, and it should be fine. If it's not fine, then use it as a boat anchor or something, because then it's a bigger problem. But that was my very first post on there. I don't know. There's just so many apps. There's Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and YouTube, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like an old man, and I'm not even that old. I'm not even 29 yet. I'll be 29 shortly. In just like a couple weeks, I'll be 29. If it's that long. I don't even know what day it is. I don't know what the date is today, but it should, like in a couple weeks, I'll be 29. But I feel like an old man because I just think, I just want things to be more simplified. I don't, well, for one, Facebook just hides all your shit that you post on there. I mean, it's so interesting whenever I go and I look at pages. And they say comparison is comparison is the thief of success or something like that. Or comparison is the thief of joy. I don't know, they both apply ultimately, but I'll see pages that have 500,000 likes on Facebook, and they post and they get between 500 or 1,000 or maybe 1,200 likes on their post. That's so crazy to me. It would be nice if you had a page and whenever you posted, the people who liked your page would actually see your stuff. And I've ranted about that multiple times in the past, but I don't really like Facebook. I'm not a fan of it. I don't even use my personal Facebook. I have a personal Facebook, but I never use it. I never post on there. I'm not the selfie type, as you who have followed me for any duration of time know, and certainly have deduced. I just updated my Instagram. I gotta see. Let me find that. I'll poke him a little phone here. Instagram, there it is. And what's my bio say now? Oh yeah, it says I'm Stenosis, artist, musician, wrong type of person to be on social media, and that's so true. It's so true. And I'm not the type of person who. I don't thrive on social media. I'm a very simplistic person. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, they updated Instagram, bastards. Why don't? Oh, you gotta click more to read the rest of the bio. Oh, stopping them biohackers. Hey now, getting serious. New buttons. Email, promotions, edit profile. That's a big thing. Oh, that's interesting. Go look at your Instagram. I have a iPhone 7 Plus, so it might just be iOS. I don't know. But I did an Instagram live some time ago. I don't know, maybe a week ago. The days blur together anymore. I did an Instagram live and I was recording just parts of a cover. And that was pretty fun. I was just sitting here. I had my phone pointed at my computer screen and it was picking up the audio because I have an adapter that I built which makes my phone pick up the audio from my mixer. Actually, looking at this adapter, there's cables hanging out of it. That's fine. We'll just put some tape on that. It'll be okay. You're fine. Just go over there. And it could hear the direct audio from my mixer. And I talked into this microphone that I'm talking in right now. If somebody asked a question or whatnot, I could respond. And because my mixer has different pages. That's a confusing thing to say. It's a digital mixer. And it's the most advanced mixer that I have ever touched, and probably this is really saying something, but the PreSonus Studio Live Series 3 mixers quite possibly could be the most advanced mixers on the market right now. They are so incredibly advanced. They can do so many things, and I will probably never use mine to its fullest extent. But anyway, it has different pages. And it has your main page and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although mine goes through 16. I think they all might go through only 16. The big one might go to 32. I'm not sure. But those are essentially, they are duplicates. Well, duplicate kind of makes it seem, that infers two. But they're copies of the main mix. It's different pages that are all copies of each other. Or not of each other. Anyway, damn it. You know what I'm saying. You have your main mix, and then your Matrix 1 is just your main mix, but you can set it up differently and then route it out of a different output. And the same with 2. You can set it up different than number 1 and route it out of a different output and have different audio mixes all going out at the same time. And that's how I record into Cubase. I have 1516 linked up, and that holds... That's so I can record all my audio post-fader, and that's a completely different topic that maybe I'll get into in the future, post and pre-fader mixing for digital mixers, because that can be a very frustrating factor to somebody like me who's more used to an analog style setup. I prefer an analog style setup. I like to see by a fader my levels, and So yeah, that's pretty cool. I did that live stream, and I hope that the people who were there enjoyed it. They seem to have enjoyed it. It was a fun time. I got to talk to them, and they got to see my process there. Kind of I think I was doing drums and bass that night. It was late, and I didn't do guitar, which I can do guitar now that I have my isolation thing set up to where I can record through my Mesa 2x12 without rattling the neighborhood. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I have that YouTube group, The Pit, and I was thinking of a really, I was like, what's this cool name? I'm going to name this thing, Stenosis Society, because I've used that before. No, I don't want to. Stenosis was, trying to think of a cool name. And I don't know. It's just going to be like a pit of shit for people to just throw whatever. Oh, The Pit. So I thought that was a good and fitting name for it, The Pit. And it's not just centered around me. It's just an entire collection, and it's in YouTube. You can get to it in the YouTube app, so it's not like you have to go to another place to get it. Kind of like this SlogCast, you have to download Anchor to listen to it. Or actually, they distribute, I guess, to Spotify and iTunes and all that business. But you can only do the call-in feature through the Anchor app, or maybe you can do it online. I don't know. There's so many. I mean, I tried to, at one point in time, learn everything because I thought that would make it better. If I knew more about everything, then I could leverage more things. And actually, it turned out the exact opposite. The more I learned, the less I was able to comprehend, if that makes any sort of sense. I wasn't able to do as much the more I knew. And that's kind of like with audio production. I'm trying to forget what I know about audio production because it was just more fun. It was easier that way. Whenever I just poked buttons, and yesterday, whenever I was recording a vocal, sorry, I had to burp, and I didn't figure you want me to do that in a microphone. I was recording a vocal yesterday, and I was going through my plugins list, and I was thinking, okay, well, I just want to do something that, on this vocal, make it, give it a little bit of a different sort of thing, and I found a transient shaper, which I can't remember who the company is that I was using, but anyway, basically it's a plugin that you would only want to use on like drums to get more attack or more sustain on your drums. It's basically like a complex compression algorithm with an envelope shaper built into it, but the whole idea is that this plugin, even though it's a complicated compression algorithm with a built-in transient shaper, it's made to simplify that process. And so I put that on the vocal, and I was thinking I'll just crank the attack up just to see what it does. And I cranked the sustain up, and it distorted it heavily. But it was just cool to try, just cool to tinker around and not care about, well, this doesn't go there technically, or this shouldn't be on that kind of a track. I'm caring less and less, and I'm becoming more, I guess you could say, more happy with what I'm doing. I want Stenosis to be more successful than it is, but at the same time, I am not the type of person. I used to try to play the game to get success, and the more I did that, the more miserable I was, and it seemed the less successful things were, and things aren't very successful now. I'm not saying that they are or not, I guess, because I'm very grateful. That's another point that I've reached is more appreciation and more thankfulness. Is that a word? We'll say it's a word. For what I have, and success is not the same for everybody. The best days are like the most exposure that I'll ever get might be behind me. I don't know. I hope it's not. I hope things continue to grow. But I was watching an interview last night with Tobias Forge, and if you don't know who he is, he's the singer of Ghost. And a lot of people thought that I copied Ghost whenever I did the whole anonymity thing. I didn't even know about Ghost until after I created Stenosis. It was like 2 years or a year after I created Stenosis that I learned about Ghost. Anyhow, Tobias wasn't the anonymous frontman of Ghost for a very long time, and just recently he did the very first unmasked interview where he was himself. And that was really cool to watch. It was really cool to see. And you can see a lot, even though he kind of looked like a combination of Prince meets Elton John in a way. But I still wonder if that mustache was real or if it was drawn on with a pencil. I don't know. But he seemed like he would be a very interesting person to talk to. You can tell that he thinks in many, many layers, which I also do. Whenever somebody is talking to me, maybe they can pick up on that. I think in very many layers. There's always more going on in my head than I'm able to get out of my mouth. That's one reason why these podcasts or SlogCasts tend to go on for a very long time, and they tend to scatter because I have so much shit in my head. And I would love to write a book. I really would love to write a book, but I don't know how. I don't know how to focus my thoughts in a way that to make it to where I can write a book. It's something that I would really like to do, because what is in my head, I think, might help a lot of people or might interest a lot of people, or some people, or maybe one person. I don't know, but it would just be something that I would enjoy doing. I just need help kind of opening the door that I'm locked behind within myself, so to speak. And it didn't help whenever my brother committed suicide a few weeks ago. That was a fucking shitty thing. Yeah. That sucked. Still sucks. I don't know. It hit me harder whenever I saw the pamphlet program thing for his service. And I don't know. It's just it's a shitty deal. Shitty deal all around. And there's so many things about that, of course, I don't put on here, but it'd just be, I don't know, it just sucks. I'm the only sibling left now. I had two brothers. They were twins. And one was the one that some of you know about. And he passed away in 2010 from kidney failure related to complications of cerebral palsy. And my son's named after him. And my other brother, the other twin, was the one who committed suicide a few weeks ago. And so now I don't have any siblings left. The only thing I've tried so hard for years to I have a fear of an irrelevant life, and it's crippling to the fact to where so many things hit my head at the same time that it paralyzes me. Not physically, well, I mean, I guess physically, but there's so many thoughts going through my head, kind of like what I referenced a little bit ago, where there's so much shit in my head at the same time, and it makes it very, very, very difficult to collect a thought. It's very hard to do, and I have a fear of an irrelevant life. I have a fear of not being where I want to be musically, and that leads to impatience, and that leads to frustration, and that leads to depression. And depression is a very, very real thing, and I feel for every person who has depression. It's pretty crippling. But I try to keep my head up. Shit, I just broke my pen. Oh, there it goes. I try to keep my head up, and I try to do things in a semi-positive light. Those who know me know that I am not a very positive person. Wow. In the fact of, I think everybody deserves to be happy. I want everybody to be happy. For those, if you're listening to this right now, I really hope that you're happy. I hope that you're happy with your life. I hope that you're doing something that makes you happy. All too often, whenever you meet somebody, they ask, "Oh, what do you do?" And then you tell them what you do, and their thought is, how much money do you make? And listen, some people even ask you that, especially if you say you're a musician. Oh, does that make a lot of money? The question should be, nope, this pen is broke. The question should be, are you happy? Because that's what's more important. I mean, money is nothing but a crippling factor. Happiness is what's important. Doing what you love and being happy is what is truly, truly important. If you make a lot of money, go you. If you don't make a lot of money, go you. If you're happy, that's what I care about. My brother, he committed suicide, and he had a job that, if I was able, I can't tell you what he did, because he had a job that, let's see, how do I phrase this? He had a job, it paid very well, and it was he was a very decorated person, and on paper he was an incredibly successful person. He had 5 kids too, and big house and all that, and he committed suicide. Or look at Chester Bennington, the singer in the band that had one of the most popular songs, one of the top songs in 20, what year was it? 17? 16? I don't know. One of the most famous bands and one of the most selling albums of the time, and he committed suicide. Or Robin Williams, who, if I remember right, he did a comedy show where he was making hundreds, if not thousands of people laugh and enjoy themselves and have a great time. And the next day or shortly thereafter, he committed suicide. Or you have Chris Cornell, the singer of 2 of the most successful grunge bands in the history of music. He committed suicide. There's so many people, and there's actors and just individuals who are not famous, who commit suicide, who have successful lives, or they have a lot to live for. So it just goes to show you that money does not prevent suicide. Sometimes money causes suicide. A lot of times, like if a person does not have any money, or maybe somebody has all the money in the world and then they realize they don't have the happiness they thought that money would accompany. Happiness changes suicide. Nobody who is, I would wager to say that nobody who is happy with their life commits suicide. There's no reason to. And do what makes you happy. You should be happy. You deserve to be happy. And that's what I'm trying to do, but I want to be successful, more successful than music, something that I know will be able to sustain my family comfortably, something I can be proud of, because it's not very easy to be a 28-year-old guy who's for my entire life I've had this connection with music that I can't explain to anybody because you don't understand what goes on in my head. Having synesthesia it can be a big-ass curse, because your brain is wired completely different. Music is more to me than I would wager to say any quote-unquote normal person. I don't know how to explain it, I guess, but the only thing I've ever thought of in life is music. The only thing I've ever thought of doing in life is music, and I just want to be able to do that on a level that I know I can take care of my family too. And that's a very, very contradictory statement, especially in this industry. Going back to that interview with Tobias, he started Ghost in 2006. He was 25. I was 25 whenever I started Stenosis officially, which I thought that was an interesting correlation between he and I. I would love to talk to him. Probably won't happen, but I would love to. I shared a back and forth the other night with Devin Townsend. That was pretty cool. And he seemed like a very nice guy. He's another person I'd love to sit down and talk with. Anyway, Tobias started Ghost when he was 25, back in 2006. Ghost didn't pop until about 2016. That math isn't that hard to do. That's 10 years he and the rest of the members back then, because they're not the same, of Ghost hacked away at Ghost and hacked and tried and whatnot before it became quote unquote successful. But also what you view as successful that doesn't mean it's financially lucrative. In the music industry, things can look very successful and they can be not lucrative at all. I have met and spoken to musicians who sell out arenas, and they have big tour buses and all the gear and everything you would think of, the lights and the smoke and whatnot, and they're broke. They don't have any money. I don't know. Maybe it's just a fog that is in front of a musician's face that makes it seem like music is a sustainable venue to go to. But maybe in reality it's not. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to do music. That's all I really know how to do. I was a police officer, and I guess I was okay at that, but I had to have surgery because of it, and people told me I was a nice police officer. I was always angry whenever I was a police officer, though, because you have to... I tried to treat people with respect. Anyway, it's off the topic. Tobias, it took him 10 years to get Ghost to really pop. And now Ghost is to a point now that... I don't know. Back then, whenever the whole lawsuit thing was going on, Tobias said that Ghost had never turned a profit. I don't know what those metrics are based off of. Sometimes, producing a profit means that everybody got their pay, but I had to burp again, sorry. Everybody got their pay, but the business or brand itself did not fold a profit to yield more financial leeway to spend on new updated features. I don't know what they based the zero profit off of. Maybe, I know the members said they didn't get paid at all for years. And I guess the record company, because sometimes a record company, it's less and less anymore these days, but they will essentially pay for your stuff, but you actually won't get paid, if that makes sense. And that's sometimes. That's not every record deal, and that's a very rare thing anymore, but they would... For example, like they would pay your bills or they would pay for your food. You get like $100 a day or maybe $200 a week or something like that to pay for food. It's not very much, but you're not actually being paid in money. You're just not having to pay out of your own pocket necessarily. It's kind of like a third-party way of paying your bills, but you're not making any profit other than that. So your expenses are covered, but you get nothing on top of that. That's what I gathered from the members of the past, what they dealt with. But it's interesting. I have no idea what I even intended this SlogCast to be. Anyway, I'll wrap it up. Leave me a voice message thing here on the Anchor app if you can. I can also bring people in and do podcast, SlogCast with them. If you want to do that, let me know in a call-in. Let me know if you want to be I don't even know if you want to be a guest or whatever on a future SlogCast. Go to the Anchor app. You can get it on, I'm not sponsored by them. It sounds like I am, but I'm not. You can get it in the iOS and Android stores, I believe. Thank you very much for listening. Appreciate you being here. Please focus on being happy. Please focus on yourself and making yourself happy and doing what you love to do in life. I appreciate you being here, and I really look forward to seeing you next time.